G'day everyone, it's bennymacca here with Doug's again, and we're going to do another hand history review. How you going, mate?
I'm doing good, mate. How we doing?
Not too bad. Today we've got another TPE member, loxxii. His name's actually Carlo, and so his screen name is like he's Low for short, and the 22 is from his football name apparently, but because it looks like loxxii, everyone calls him that now. So yeah, so this is a $44 2K guaranteed on carbon, and it had 90 odd runners. So, and I think he just finishes out of the cash. It's basically a final table paid, and I think he bubbles it basically. So we'll see how we go. Looks like a deep stack 22, so should get some.
Oh, it looks like a good structure.
Yeah. Alright, so pretty standard. I like the C-bet, and
Easy for us.
yeah.
Are you C-betting for value here, or?
I just think you can take advantage of the dead money in the pot. They only have to fold half the time. No.
Yeah, and I also think when they float us with small pairs and stuff, they're kind of reverse free rolling because we can push them off.
Yeah.
On almost
There's plenty,
all turns.
plenty of good turn cards. Like a 10 and a king are pretty good for us as well as ace queen. So
Yeah. Like if this was because this was three-way on the flop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if this was, if we were in position heads up, I'd be more inclined to check back ace king and just let them bluff off with random suit connectors or anything because people just tend to auto
because you
bet
do have
turns.
showdown value with ace king, I guess, but. Yeah,
I mean, just three-way. It's so hard to induce anything, so I prefer betting.
Yeah, and I think you're basically just getting them to fold out their random broadways. I mean, they're probably not folding like a mid pair here, but
yeah, but we can
whatever.
Double barrel a mid pair off, or we can turn equity and then check back and bet rivers and check call and bet rivers and stuff.
Yeah, so this check, I think it's not a check raise; it's just a raise. It could be anything really. We have no history, I'm guessing.
But
so
it's very, very unlikely that it's going to be complete airballs.
Yeah, first hand of the tourney.
Yeah.
Alright, so I think we just check folding here. Yep, that's
Yep.
fine. Open is standard again.
He donk leads.
Pretty decent donk lead, so...
I'm just folding.
Shows the old queen 8 too.
That'd be an easy note. I'd probably be more inclined to try something against it if the board texture wasn't so bad and he didn't donk lead to his pot. Because when they're really small donk leads, I reckon they just fold way more often. The bigger the bet gets, the less likely they are to fold.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think about flatting and min open
here?
Yeah,
definitely flatting here.
Yeah, we're 120 bigs deep basically.
Yeah.
A little bit less. So I think you've definitely got implied odds to call. If he's min raising under the gun, his range might even be pretty strong, which is kind of better for us. I'd be definitely flatting.
And we're just we've got a fish on our left who's just going to call, and kind of price us into any draws because we know he's over calling with a bunch of stuff. So we can kind of even play our draws passively against the under the gun range, and we'll just be inflating the odds for us by overcalling.
Yeah, and so we've got a min bet and a min raise on the river, so the chances are that both these guys on our left. Okay, so he min raised river with a ace high, and he had a deuce. so these guys are both horrible. So that's a good thing to take note of.
I'd be limping behind.
I'd be limping behind. I think limping's fine because these two guys on our left are both limping too.
Yeah, the other option is to ISO. But then they look bad enough that they're just going to overcall your ISO anyway, so I prefer limping and keeping the pot smaller.
And then they're probably calling off with third pair and stuff if you see bet, so it's going to make it tough.
If they were reasonably competent but would just stay out of our way, it's better to ISO just because we play much better heads up with that kind of hand.
Yeah, definitely agree. So now we have a limp and an ISO and a re-ISO. Then he checks and folds. What the hell? There's some interesting play going on in this tournament.
And they say merge is tough.
Who says that? Whoops.
Americans. I'd be opening that
Yeah, looks
just
fine.
because of the fish behind. Like, you can open King Jack for value and expect to get like either 2 or 3 streets depending on the texture on any Jack XX or KXX flop because they're
Yeah.
not like
Like King
you
4 of
know,
diamonds, they're calling here. So,
yeah, exactly, and they'll let you know where he's now just kind of told us what he does with the top part of his range. So his calling range, his check calling range just became a hell of a lot weaker
yeah.
because he just don't or raises the top of his range so far.
Yeah.
Now.
And he's min bet again, and he did that with like bottom pair before, but there's just no point in getting involved here at all.
Yeah, I'm just folding here.
Yeah.
If it was suited, I'd like to call.
You could. This is probably a better spot to ISO if you wanted to, because this is the second time this guy's limped, and these guys are both we're both in position on the guys on our left now. So if you wanted to ISO here, it's probably okay,
that's true. But they're just going to overcall, and we don't really flop often enough.
Yeah. I'm not saying you have to, but if I was going to, that would be a good spot to do it. But yeah, I think
I'd be opening this given how soft the table looks.
Yep,
I like
3x
3x.
is fine. And C-bet half pot's fine.
It's fine.
Yep. Easy fold.
What was that? Yeah, I'd be opening that.
Yeah, I think you can open. I don't. It's neither here nor there. I think. I mean, it's probably.
I mean, if there's ever a time to like open your range on the button in terms of value, it's now because you've got 2 of the world's worst players in the blinds, and we have position and deep enough stacks that is going to make horrendous errors, and we're going to stack them or pot control or get value.
Yeah, especially since we're very deep against them all.
Yeah, it's a whole other story when we're like 20 deep and like losing a pot really damages our equity.
Yeah, that one's pretty standard. I'd definitely be opening here again.
The weaker the table, generally, the wider I think we can open our range, just because people are gonna,
especially really early.
Yeah.
Widen our value range. I think we should basically have no bluffs ever.
Most people don't really even have bluff ranges this deep.
Nah.
Like, or pre-ante, so like, our range is value anyway, that's why we bet bigger.
Yeah.
And, all we're doing is just opening that because we can play more properly against the calling range, rather than like betting as a steal. So I'd be folding absolute trash on the button, but anything playable that has equity versus the calling range, I'd be betting. Jack 8 falls into that pretty easily.
Yeah. Okay, so we open and get called, and then we c-bet half pot, which is fine. And then we get min raised.
Oh, that's gross. I'm probably calling. And
I'm probably calling
just
once.
Because we've got a bunch of backdoor outs. And,
yeah, I agree.
So aces are good for us. Kings are obviously good for us. Spades are good for us. 4 and 5... 4 and 5s aren't good for us because our ace out is counted by the 6. But 4 and 5s will probably slow him down if he doesn't have it.
Yeah.
Queens and jacks are scary cards to him because his raising range really here is like 7s and 8s and maybe 9s.
Yeah,
and like the occasional pair
and sets and things like that, obviously. But
sets and stuff surely raise bigger.
Oh, I don't know. It depends on how bad these players are.
Yeah, that's true. There's definitely sets and stuff there. I just think that he's going to turn his range face up on the turn on a lot of turn cards.
Yeah, I agree.
We can pretty much call. We invest, a little bit now, and we either make really good decisions on the turn.
Okay, so here's a question: What's our stack depth? What's effective stacks have to be before this becomes a fold instead of a call? Because I agree should be a call as well. So what do you reckon? Like 50 bigs
at pre-ante?
Yeah, so we get min raised here. How much should we have behind before we go? Oh, we don't have enough. That's a fold.
2.5K.
Yeah, so what's that, like 50-ish, bit under 50.
Yeah.
45.
Well, yeah. I think we can get away with 45 just because he's going to make horrible decisions. And like the thing is, when like an ace or king turns, we can often just bet fold because he's just going to station off with like under pairs, and he's going to raise us with sets.
Yeah.
So we're getting good value, and when we turn a spade, we check, and he checks back most of the time. We can reevaluate based on sizing. But the fact he's min raising means that he might do something shady like bet call the pot, and with 2.5k, we've still got like we're only investing like a reasonably small percentage of our stack to continue.
Yeah, and I mean, even if he rolled say queens here, we only have to call another 225 into a pot of like 1100. So
Yeah,
we're nearly getting
we're nearly
getting immediate odds on spiking a 6-outer.
Yeah,
irrespective of the fact that we can turn spades and things.
Equity as well.
Yeah. Okay, so threes. That's fine, and it's just a check fold board. Nothing wrong with that. Looks like there's a few folding hands here.
Yeah, there's nothing really playable though, so I'm fine with all those.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a nice swap price. Don't mind lead, since it's a limp pot.
Yeah, I can handle that.
Because I'd much rather bet fold and we bet like 90 than like check call like a bet of like 200. See,
yeah, or even 140. We're putting in 50 less, aren't we? Really?
Yeah. And when he raises, it's got two benefits because when he raises, his range is uncapped, and we can call with actual implied odds, or we can fold because when he's not seeing the right price. But when we just check call here, like this could easily be a stab, so we're not actually we have no implied odds behind our draw.
Yeah. So, what do you think about folding here? I probably would have called one.
I'm calling one, especially because smart money's going to come along enough.
Yeah.
Like we have a fish on our left who won't fold, so yeah, blue moon.
Yeah, I agree. I think we can call one with this deep, and that folds fine. Yeah, this open is good. I think there was another hand where we folded something quite even better than this. I think it was Jack 9 actually, which is kind of the same hand. But
I'd still be 2.5 in at least though.
Yeah, I agree. Pre-ante, definitely.
Especially because the smart money just fold, like he calls anything and then folds post flop a ton.
Yeah.
Like min raises just kind of send him a nice price, which is what we really want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we would have just got another 100 chips there.
Yeah. So C-bet's good and it's fine.
I don't love flatting because the people behind are going to flat a ton. If they were squeezy, I'd be more inclined to.
Yeah, and it's very hard to. We haven't really tried to define his range a little bit. Like, I mean, I'm almost like 3-bet folding queens here, which sounds really weird, but like.
No, I think that's completely fine. It's like it's the similar spot as in like when we have 10 9s versus someone from the cutoff, from the hijack position where he's gonna raise call a range that we have beat and we can 3-bet for value. Yeah. But his 4-betting range is gonna have us crush.
Yeah, so like if he opens say 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s, jacks, he's probably flatting all of them. He's never really 4-betting. He's probably 4-betting ace king suited and kings and queens and aces.
Without the really stationary players behind still the act, I probably flat here a lot, to be honest, in game, just because I'd rather keep the pot smaller versus a relative unknown, and just let him barrel off post flop. But because we've got smart money and please fold behind, I think we can just 3-bet here and expect them to overcall.
Yeah, I think the problem with flatting is you don't take control of the pot, so you really only you can't c-bet on like an ace high flop anymore. Yeah, no, that's true. So that's why I like 3-betting, because it just means you take the initiative, and it means you can rep basically any board. So like if it comes 5 high, then we've got a great hand to bet for value against worse pairs, and if it comes ace high, then they're still going to fold out pretty much their whole range anyway, so we can just take it down.
Yeah, that's true. But the thing is, if people are only gonna c-bet for value, then we can just float and he turns his range face up because his check calling range is just worse than his floating range.
But if we're assuming he's c-betting fairly wide, like most of his range here,
then I'm calling one straight.
We either have to call and get into a guessing game or fold here, which is kind of bad. Like, I don't really like either calling or folding because it becomes tough to know what happens on the turn if he bets again. But if we 3-bet, then we can rep ace king. So any lower pairs is just snap folding.
I'm fine with either, but as played, I'm not folding here.
Yeah.
I call and evaluate turns.
Yeah, it's probably a bad turn for us, really. But but he checks back.
And then he's just going to shut down.
Yeah.
And he goes into check call mode with that sucks. But but like tens, ace 10, queen 10, queen jack, and all those hands that he's going to c-bet flop. We're going to call. He's going to check. We can either check back if the board's dry and bet the river, or we can bet the turn to get value from draws and random hearts. Assuming this is heads up, sorry.
Yeah.
And then we can essentially get 3 streets post flop from second pair. Whereas if we 3-bet pre, it kind of narrows his range a lot if he's any good. If he's really fishy, then just massively widen our value range. But pre-ante, he's just not going to spaz, so it's not really an inducing range, which is why I'm fine with kind of flatting and just letting him turn his hand face up on the flop or turn, which most opponents do.
Yeah, I kind of think either's fine. I think it.
Yeah, but with the people behind here, I'm always 3-betting just because smart money's going to overcall, and we're going to end up with like an SPR of because we make it like 650, he overcalls. That gives the other guy odds to come along, and suddenly the pot's 2k, and we've set up a nice SPR of like 1.7.
Yeah,
and we can just get stacks in.
Yeah, no, I agree. So I think in general, it's probably okay to flat sometimes and 3-bet sometimes, depending on how you're feeling. But if you know that you've got some
fish behind,
it's probably better to 3-bet. All right, so now we got 8-9, and we open, which is fine. As we said before, we're probably making it bigger, but whatever. Another open's fine. Another open is good. We finally get flatted. It's not a bad board for us. Yeah.
It's another great board for our range compared to his, but for our particular hand, it's a really good card to barrel. A board to barrel, because there's going to be so many turns we can barrel.
Yeah.
And he's just seems really weak tight, or like weak loose-ish.
Yeah.
Don't want to defend their verse in early range.
Yeah, that's fine. I think folding is good.
Folding's good.
Yeah, with 3-bet, that's all right. We haven't really done that yet, so we're probably going to get respect for it. So
it's pre-ante though, so
yeah, it's much better when there is ante.
So it's just going to set up a ton of kind of awful spots where he just flats us. And we have to barrel like a 10 high board, and he just check calls jacks, and then we get to the turn, and often we have no equity.
Yeah, I agree. Love it much more pre-ante. Set mining 30 bigs, a bit more than 30, 34, and
it's okay because
this guy's different, isn't he?
Yeah. But please fold's been relatively loose, and Rebel overcalled with 4-3 suited.
Okay, back now. Sorry about that. So we flatted an under the gun open, which is probably the best the best sort of open to be flatting with twos here, because we have the best implied odds.
There's no squeezes behind, and like the big blind's just going to come along with heaps of suited stuff. He's going to want to put money in post lot ball.
Yeah, but. Okay, so we float here.
That's a pretty awful board for our range compared to his range.
There's no turn cards we really like, and except
we don't even really like a 2 of diamonds that much if he barrels turn.
Yeah, well we're still pot controlling. We're never playing for stacks if the 2 of diamonds rolls off. So
We need it to run pure for us to actually be happy.
Yeah,
And like, there's just so many turn cards. Like, he could be barreling like King Jack here and then barrel turn. And
yeah,
most of the time, like, given his sizing on the flop and turn, he's just got like Ace Queen,
yeah. It's
Queen,
two
Fox.
thirds pot
Like,
as well. So, at worst he has Ace King here, and he still now has 10 outs against us. So, and he's going to be barreling a ton.
and I
So,
think you can even discount a lot of on that turn sizing. I think you can discount Ace King a lot unless it's the diamonds combo.
yeah, that's true. Sevens, bunch of flatters, and we flop gin.
Drip flop. I've been betting a bit smaller.
Yeah,
Just three-way.
Multi-way, definitely. I'd be betting like 450, 480.
Yeah, I agree. And I think just under half pot bets, even if it's only slightly, just kind of induces a lot more calls and stuff.
Especially when a big hand calls, then Rebel might call with a lot.
Not the greatest turn card for us, but I'm still betting for value and for
What do you think about sizing here?
Value versus value hands.
I'd probably bet a bit bigger. I'd probably bet like 1k personally.
I don't hate it if it's intended to like get Rebel to jam over us with spades and stuff. If that's the reasoning behind it, I quite like it, but I'd probably make it like...
Yeah, but he probably jams, like, if we bet 10.50 here...
10.50 looks a hell of a lot stronger than 7.50. 7.50 is like, please fold, I don't have anything, but I'm barreling a spade.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, if we make it if we make it like 10.50 there, it means that we're making the pot like 3.30 and we've got 2.30 behind, whereas at this sizing we've got 2.5 behind.
Yeah, this sizing also sets up a decent turn shove as well, which I think is good.
River shove.
River shove. So I don't mind it. What happens to my mouse? Awesome, my mouse is not working.
You ruin everything.
Alright, keep talking. I'll see if I can fix it.
Yeah, the other thing just on the flop, the Rebel had like 5K 5495 left behind. So if we bet slightly less than 500, it also kind of creates a situation where he's calling and he doesn't even have to break like down another digit, because there's always those like psychological bumps where like no one likes going, like when they've got like a 3 or 4K stack, no one likes going under 3K. They're much more apt to call if it's left with like 3K than if you leave someone with 3,950, because they look and go, oh shit, I've only got 39 big blinds, now I'm under 40. Whereas leaving someone with 40 big blinds, they're just going to call a hell of a lot more correct.
That's a good point. And it's still going to commit him the same frequency.
Yeah, it's essentially no difference. It just looks way weaker.
Yeah, okay, so he calls, and that's an awesome card for us.
Card.
And jam is great.
And getting called by, yeah.
Yeah, well played. I like that.
I actually like the sizing.
Yeah, I agree. I think you've convinced me.
Just fine.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
I like the sizing.
Yep. It's a good flop. Probably make it a little bit smaller, like 350.
Mm-hmm.
Probably barreling here.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to peel with tens. He's going to peel with under pairs once, probably.
Yeah, so we can fold out, like, 4s through 9s, and, like, just because we're out of position, we don't want to check call here, because we can't really bluff catch rivers that don't, like, smack us.
Yeah.
And, like, a lot of the range that really hits is going to 3-bet pre. Yeah, see, we've just let him get to showdown, really, and if he did have a hearts, we haven't paid him the draw. Because a lot of the time we can just barrel, barrel missed hearts.
So he's just bet like 1/10 pot on the river, and chances are he's probably like, I reckon it's probably like a 10 here, or like an under pair.
I, we don't rip anything by
No,
rating, unfortunately.
no, we can't raise, but it's just.
Yeah.
I think
This is
I think what I'm
just-
trying to say is his range, at least on now we have more information than we did at the time, but his range to me looks like we can a barrel would have been good.
Yeah.
Oh fucking mouse! Alright. My mouse is all like locking up and shit.
Why you buy Mac stuff, mate? That's what all cool kids do.
Yeah, this is really shit. I might have to stop this. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop it and back in a sec, boys. Oh, I don't even know how to stop it.
I assume this is all getting edited out.
Yeah, I hope so. Fuck off.
You ruined everything.
I can't get you to click on it either because it's just a meeting. Why is this like my mouse is just like not even not working properly?